Yo, 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 yo. It has been a long time, and I'm just inviting some people who are saying that I just have to invite them. Now we are live again. So we are trending out through this week. We are going to be live. We are going to be live here, right? Yeah. So we are going to be live, and we are going to be trading throughout the week. So it's going to be a very tough. It's going to be something amazing. Yeah. We're going to be live. Amazing. So we are going to be checking different pairs as we gain momentum, just slow by slow. Remember, this is season 3. We end season 1 where we were actually trading full on gold, and I think our strategy was working over 90%. It was so amazing because we made a lot of money that time. We made some quite good amount of money that time. Now, today I want us to check different currencies, different pairs that we are going to trade today, and then we're going to have some entries together. That is what I'm going to do, and then I'll come again. For those who are new here, you will let me know because I have now to introduce you to what we normally do, but with some improvement as well. Yeah, so for those who are new, so don't worry about that. It's going to be very, very amazing. This is season 4 or season 3 because we started live trading from around 2020. Around 2020. That is the time we started live trading, around 2020. Yeah. So I know we are going to be gaining momentum with time. Yeah, so it's going to be amazing. So the only thing that you can actually do is make sure that you are always joining this. Because the reason, the good thing about joining all the time is so that you can actually, follow up. It's going to be very easy for you to know when I mention something. It's very easy for you now to follow up and to know our entries, where we are going to do all those things. It's just going to be very easy. What I mean. On the chart, let me just know what you're trading, and I'll be checking that when we are ending on this. But more so today, I want us to just do some intros on currencies, what is really happening, and what has been happening to the market, because this is very interesting. This is very interesting. But although we have been, some people may think that I've not, because, I just send posts to trend live. I've always been here. I've always been trending. I've always been trending. I've always been live. I've always been trading. Mimi naishi kutrend. Yeah. There is no day that I skipped checking the market. Always checking the market. Now there are quite some things that you're going to realize from this market. Currently, I'm checking on GBP USD. So GBP USD, but to just do summarize this without checking a lot of information, because I know, yesterday I was doing analysis, because most of the time when before even I come live like this to analyze the market, I always check the market on Friday, Saturday, and also on Sunday evening, to see where the market closed and the potential for the market to move the next week, what we might be expecting. And that is what I was checking here. And 10 a.m. Before this 10 a.m., the market has really moved, especially if you check the gold prices. Let me just show you what I was expecting from the gold to move. That is what I'm expecting. I'm just going to delete everything here and the potential. So let's just start with gold and some move that I was expecting tonight, and why. Let me first of all so this were actually my analysis yesterday. These were my analysis yesterday on what I was expecting the prices of gold to do around this area here. I was expecting for potential moving of the market to move up, and that is what I was expecting, and that is what we really got from this market this morning before even we came live. But there are a lot of things here because let me show you the gold is still moving up, and we're going to have the technical analysis and also the fundamentals to see what is really driving the prices of gold to be moving up. But you see, from that time we post the live, the gold prices have absolutely been moving up, and that is one thing that you can really see, that we have been on upward weekly. Gold has actually been moving up. So you may be asking yourself, when is this actually going to be moving down? Because just look at this. From this time we broke this area here of 2061. From the time we broke this area of 2061, that is 2061, the market has actually been moving up all the way without actually going back. And that's something that you actually have to be you have to observe that keenly, because the market has actually doubled like 100% with a very short time that we really got from some few weeks here, and that is what the gold has actually been doing. And checking from this again, this breakout that we got here around 34.51, again the market is making move of that $4,400 again up, and that is very critical. That is things that you really have to observe, because if you make mistakes with gold here, you can actually inaweza kupeleka ushago, because once the gold actually start moving just like this, it can move all the way to 4,000, and I think that is where what we might be ending to right here. But there are a lot of things that are really making the prices of the gold. We have the interest rate that has been interest rate. So, Paul just decided to cut the interest rate, and there's some rumors that, they will continue to cut the interest rate. And that's why you see now these people, the prices, the dollar sign has actually been moving up. And before even we check this, we're going even to check more on, we are going even to check more on USDX, that is the dollar index, to see the move on how it's actually been moving, so that this is going to help us now to gauge on how the dollar is moving. Although most of the time this is not really going to be that accurate, as you can tell. You cannot really gauge the prices of gold by comparing with the prices of the dollar. That is not going to be accurate 100%. So we are still building the foundation for this, to know where we actually might be moving with the gold, and I will show you where I was expecting these prices to do, what I was expecting from this market today, and the surprise I really got from this market, and that was amazing. And I'm going to show you my entries, where I might be having the entries. But let's agree one thing: if your account is small, as we build this, if your account is very small, please don't avoid trading gold mostly, because there is high chances that you can wipe your account very fast. Very fast, within a blink of an eye, you're going to blow your account. So if you have a small account, we are going to be analyzing currencies as well to make sure that we bring some equilibrium here, the balance. Okay, now that is what we actually been moving here. But this for now the market is not actually being moved by the interest rate. One of the crazy things that is happening is just some rumors of what is happening, and this normally creates fear, and that is what causes people to buy the safe haven, just like gold. As you can see, as you can tell, for those who have been following this, there's how the Trump has actually been instructing. There have been emergency meetings with the generals, police just being assigned in different cities. It's like they have some emergencies that they don't want to tell people, and seems there is a problem, there is a trouble in the paradise, and that's why you can see that fear is creating some anxieties, and people are now not trading. The dollar sign is becoming a problem, and now that is where people now you see the prices of when there is severe gold, people run into the prices of the gold, and that's why mostly you see it has been happening between Friday and this week until we see the clear result, or we see what is really happening to these prices, because that is one thing that you really got. But there's something that you're really going to realize here is once the market has actually hit 38, there's high potential that the gold prices is actually going to hit 4,000. 4,000 gold might be coming there, but don't forget about this move that we really got here. And it's really moving really big beer, just like the same as this one. The market actually might be coming back, let's say, to 37, 80s or 38. We might be coming back there again, but we'll move more to know where we can actually, where the market actually might be moving on this is actually going to be very easy for us. Now that is the prices of gold. So if you are trading gold and you have small account, make sure that you just avoid that. So we're going to analyze the currencies. I'm just building some small foundations here to see what we really get here from the market to make things interesting. Meanwhile, Robinson Kimtai, good morning. Good morning. How are you doing? Hey, my guy, Carlos. Good morning. It is 10 a.m. 14 minutes past 10. Harun, good morning. Dan, good morning too. How are you doing? We are back to our job. This is what we do full time. So there is no problem here. We are going to just relaxed and taking the trains right here. Now, that is what actually been happening. But this morning I was checking on the prices of the gold. Yesterday I was on these prices. Let me show you. Let me go to. I want to go to. I want to go to 4-hour time frame so that I can show you. Remember, this market closed here. This market closed here on Friday. This market closed with this candle here on Friday. Okay. This market closed here on Friday. I was expecting this market to come at least to this 53, but it actually went all the way to the 54 before we just jump all the way up. But that is what we got, so there's no problem with that. The problem with that, but I will still be expecting these prices. So for those who missed this, I don't know whether I could have actually live streamed like yesterday to have that big move, but my entries were actually around this area because I was expecting these prices to absolutely kick off and move all the way up after getting this. And I was using different things here. I was using volume, and we are going to analyze. You are going to use that and get at least some of the signals here today using the same strategy and see whether we can get some big moves here. But let's put gold aside at the moment until I'll tell you why. Let's put the gold. Let's just go now to the GBP USD, but I want us to check the DXY because that is what I was talking about as well. Before now we move the dollar index. Where is it? The dollar index is here. I want this one. Now this one. I want this one. I want this. You see now this big move here, that is what has actually been driving the prices of the gold. And somehow you can say that the DXY sometimes it can move the prices to the gold, but not dependent 100%. You cannot say that the DXY is actually dependent to the prices of gold 100%. Not really 100%, because sometimes they can move the opposite side and the gold is going to move on the opposite side, so it's not going to be that 100%. But you can use really analysis for the DXY to monitor and have some little entries, especially when there is no fears or crisis, political instabilities, you can use the DXY to measure and have some entries for the gold prices, as we can see from this area. So checking on the DXY, that is how it's actually been moving. It is very smart here. So let's see how these prices, what is inside here, because that is where we expect at least the reversal to be around this corner here. What is happening to this area here? So if we check from so if we assume one thing that what is this market really on the retracement, because you can see it is moving up. That is one thing that you really realize here, is still moving up. So if you take the Fibonacci, let's see whether it is around want to check it from here. Let's see whether we have that big move and it is inside this area here. I'll show you where we can expect these prices. So if it's going to retrace, it's going to come around that area here. Okay, not that zone, around this area here. Now I want to check the amount of volume that is being entered so that I can show you different things. So I'm going to take anchored volume and see between here and that area here where we do expect the prices for this to come back, and we see the highest volume is actually around here. Again, we expect around here again, so around this area. So when this price is actually going to come here, you can see there's a small volume here, but this is why we have high volume concentrated on around this area here. So I want us to use this to see the reason I'm using DXY, number one, is because when the prices of a commodity is creating high highs, when the prices of a commodity is creating high highs all the time, it's very dangerous for you now to, like, most of the time you can actually use other currencies that are correlated to spot the move, or to know where the market might actually be moving to, or what can actually happen to that market. So that's why we are using the DXY, because still gold is still moving and it is creating high highs. So that, number one, you cannot know where the exactly even the volume is going to be high and the point of retracement is going to be, especially that's why I'm saying the market that is creating high highs or all-time highs, all-time high, all-time new highs, like the gold is doing. Like, for example, right now it is at 38.16, and today we got a new high of 38.19. So if it's going to move to 38.20, that's all at all-time high. So it's going to be very difficult for you now. And you see now the DXY is actually, we have high volume that is really concentrated here from this point here. So number one, you can see here between these 2 points. So there's one thing that you really have to realize about this, and that's why I'm using this volume to analyze too. So number one, we are using the Fibonacci retracement, and number two, we are using the volume profile. We'll be using the others later, but that is the areas that I'm really waiting for this market to come to. This area here, which is 99, 97, 466, 67. And you can see one thing that you can see here is there is no volume here. So the very low volume here, low volume nonce that were here, and that will see the market moved very fast here and moved very fast here. But you can see at least there is some volume around this area, and that's why the market is trying to move across this area here. Now that is the zones that we have from this market. Now what do we expect from the DXY? Now this is what we expect for the DXY to come at this area here, at least jump from here. But generally we are going to expect this market to come down again all the way to this point here, because that is now when it will actually have a complete move, when it comes to this zone here. The reason, because it is a zone of retracement for this market to continue moving up, and as well, that is where we have high volume concentrated here, but you can see from this point on all the way here, the market is really going to slow down because you can see the volume is really high across this area. That means some people maybe are buying, selling, and there's high volume here, so you're not expect the market to move fast across this region. That is compared to how it moved here and all the way from on the top from this point here. So from this point here across the area here, so if you don't see this market reversing in between these 2 points here, that is between 97,781 and 700, and where we have 900 now, then this market is actually going to move all the way to 97,469. And if we get this DXY moving just like that, that means just one thing, that it didn't. This is going to push the prices of number one. So this, because you just look at the volume here, is actually going to push the prices. There is high possibility, because now when this market comes across this area here again, when we be coming around this area possibility. But if we take let's try and take a retracement line from here, because yeah, let's take from here and see a possibility here. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So this can actually be a good one, so we can expect. That's what I'm saying. This is the big one, this is a small one that is actually going to happen, and probably is going to, the exit is around 98,261. So the market can absolutely move all the way to around this area here. So that is what normally happens. There are some patterns, there are some languages I'm not going to use at the moment, but that is what we're going to be getting here. So anytime from now around here, it's just expect like some moves, just a small one from inside here. You can expect the DXY to between here, so it's already inside the zone that we have been expecting, and now it is actually going to be moving all the way up. So that is what we're going to be getting from the DXY. I expect this big move, but remember, when you want to go long term, there's possibility it can actually continue moving all the way down here. But at the moment, we can actually be getting it around here, because you know, it has already touched here, and the possibility that we are going to be going to 98 all the way to 398, 300. But just note one thing, that the reason I'm using the DXY at this moment, number one, is because the gold is actually moving and creating high highs. So if the gold is creating high highs, that means one thing, that we can use the DXY. We can use the DXY to analyze or to predict some of the moves of the gold that is going to be making. Yeah, because you can see this big move here that happened. I think this is how many hours, like 2, yeah, about this one from, yeah. So that's the big move that we really got, and I think that is the one that actually moved the market, and now that is what we see here. So the DXY have possibility probably to move to 98. Then this is actually going to push the prices of gold all the way down again, and you can see gold is actually moving very fast. So probably we are going to go back below 38, probably 37.70. That's why now we don't really know exact prices that we are really going to be getting from these prices here, but that's a possibility that we're going to be getting from here. But expect the DXY probably to move from here all the way to 98,300, and once we get to 98,300, around that area here, then at least we'll be good to move. But already it's actually it's a nice one around this area here. So when we see the higher prices, so if you see, like for example, gold hitting around that 820 something, you can have a small sell there, but the market is moving very fast, so this is actually making us to become some scalpers in by default. By default, let's check currencies. Let's check currencies. I want to see currencies. Peter Kangoros. Good morning, brother. Hey, welcome back. We are here again. Yeah, tuko hapa tena. We are here again. Another season here. So, I want to see something because I had some my entries this morning. What's happening? Okay, yeah. Okay, I see. That is what we have. That is all what we have. Now, what is the effect? What is the effect towards GBP USD? Because GBP USD was actually moving. Just get this clearly. The GBP USD was actually also by checking on this, GBP USD was also has actually moved very fast, and you can see most of them, like even Ethereum was low. They closed at lower prices on Friday. Bitcoin, all of them just very lower prices. But today we're getting high prices because of the dollar. So all these things is actually because of this one. It's actually because of DXY. It's because of the result for this. So that's why it's really important to know what to do with that. I want to check some currencies here. So in case you have some want to have some entry. So what is really happening? Because we can start from zero. What is really happening with GBP USD? This is crazy, right? But trust me, do you know actually I trained in this one? I didn't. This was so amazing on my side. I had this entry here, a very nice sniper entry on I think on Thursday, Friday. This one big here. I actually captured this, but I closed around 1.33 something, around 9. Yeah, I have some of those entries that I captured right there. But this is amazing. This is really amazing. This is really amazing. GBP USD on how it's actually been moving with time. So very volatile market still on the move, on the just moving up, and somehow there are some people are going to capture high moves, big moves. This is the tricks one. Let's see. I want to see how we expect this market to move next. I had some analysis on Friday, but those were scalping, because that was different. I was just scalping on this, but trust me, I want to see the lower prices, the opening price of the GBP USD today. GBP USD. Yes, around that. It's around that price. But just checking from this, the market, I think the market is still moving up. But you can see there was at that time this big. If you just go all the way to this is September 18. Was this me analyzing the market at that time? Friday 21 September 2018. I was still analyzing the market here. Just look at this. Yeah. At what time this was 1.42. 1.42 and move to 1.71. Let's see. Okay. 2 point something. So there's a possibility. This is not new highs. This was actually the market that's recovering from the downside. This is the market that is actually recovering. So no big surprise here. No big surprise here. So this is very clear. I want to see what is really going to be happening here. But of course, just expect some moves around here. So if you have your buys, expect something to happen here inside here. this market just expect some testing point around that area before this market continues to move up. We are still here. So if you have some, if I could have been having some buys around this area, I could have closed my market here and wait for another one. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wait for the prices of GBP. I can't see it clearly, but I'm going to wait for the prices to come down a little bit. At least maybe we can negotiate about buying from this market. But this was my entry last week, around 1.33. Yeah, and a sniper entry here actually. So that was so good for me. So you just expect some retracement here, the market just to test this point before it proceeds to move on the upper side. That is what I'm talking about here. So that is the GBP USD. I don't have much to say about that. I don't have to, but expect that one thing where you're saying we've saying about the dollar is actually the reason I'm saying about as well this one is actually when the DXY is going to gain as well. I think it can make the GBP actually even move, do what we are saying here, and probably move again to below 34, and we can hit around 33.80 something. Yeah, that is the daily time frame, and that is crazy. So this is what we see from 4-hour time frame, and this is the region I'm talking about, around this area here, the testing point here. So once we hit around this testing point of around 500 inside, below 600 inside this zone, so you can expect the market to move probably below 34 again. That is what we can really get from the GBPJ. It's known as a cable. It's known as the cable. If their best pairs that you can trend is JPY pairs, but you really have to understand how they move. You know, I have some entries here. I wish we end. I don't know whether I can be starting this live before 10 a.m. Yeah. So the gold price is really selling. We are at 20. We are at 10. So we are 10. Okay. Is there a possibility that this market can come around here? Let's check again. Let's see a possibility for that. A possibility. Yeah, very possible. Very possible, very possible, very, very possible, I tell you. Highly likely the market actually can hit that. So, yeah, it is good on my side actually. I can see some good moves here. All right. That's why I'm saying that is good. Like, I don't know what I can be doing on this because this market moved very quickly in the morning, but still when the DXY is actually going to begin, that is what we are what is the most important here. So you know, I'm just analyzing the way I'm just analyzing the market here. So you just make sure that you follow up on this. This is the DXY. Do you really see how it is doing? It is trying to move up the way we are telling. I'm telling you here. Just look at this candle here. Just look at this candle. Where do we expect? You can see how it's actually flashing, and I think that is one that is making the prices of the gold to move down. As we can see, just look at how it's flashing. It's now back, and that's why the gold is back to that 810. But if this is actually going to move all the way to 98,300, I think it will have pushed the prices of the gold to our expectant zone where we expect it to move. But trust me, this is a very good entry. That's why I'm saying that in case you get higher prices, for this is what we are going to do. I'm just going to give you some instructions. If you get the prices of the gold moving 20 or the 15 above there, you can have a sell. But the prices for the DXY actually has to be inside here. That is between 97, 800 and 750. So it has to be inside that one for you now to stick on that entry. So you just that is what I'm expecting here. At least this price is to come all the way to 98, 200, 300. And once we'll be hitting that on the DXY side, I think it will push the prices of the gold to move at least to 37, 8 something, 37 something. 3780s will be checking on that later, but that will be a good one. That will be good one. So and some entries on the gold as well on 18. I'm still trying to close some. I'm going to open my MT5, but I'm not trending on MT5 right now. Okay. Close that. Yeah. So if these prices continue moving just like this, just observe the DXY to move to this area, is going to push the prices of the gold on the lower end. So we can use that as a measure to know where the prices actually might be ending to. And that is what we get from that market. Now I want us to, we are just checking the market. We are just checking here and there to see. So what you normally do is this one, because as we analyze, I educate you on some of things and how I do my things. Very easy. So you can see this alert and crossed around 32,900. I was trading in the Eurocand. I'll be checking as well that one. I had a very good entry on the Eurocand, but I want us to check on the JPY. Let's see something on the GBP. JPY was actually moving almost to 150 USD JPY, and we are back again around this area after trading 149 around 150. Now it's still back. Now this big move that we see here. Okay. So these are my areas of expectations. Number one, number two, number two, number three, number three. Since and here. But when we reach to this area here, it's going to move all the way down to 147 to 147. So the entries here, you put another one, it's going to be here. Okay. So if you're watching this, ensure that you like that button. Make sure that you click that like button right now. Ensure that you click that like button right now. Ensure that you do that. Click that like button right now. There are some importances. Okay. Look how the USD JPY is moving. This is crazy. There are some reasons I'm putting these areas here. So once it crosses here, because I see these prices actually when we come to this is 148 600, so we really don't have to cross 615. So once we cross to 5 below 600, then there's a possibility we are going to move here. But I think prices actually is going to react a little bit from this area here, and there's a very big move here. So you understand two of them, big move and a small move. This is a small move that we can expect to happen around here, and this is a big move on the upper side. The reason number one, let's see, just look at this, how the prices was actually on the ranging around this area here. So one of the pairs that I normally fear so much is JPY. Once you make a mistake, you can actually end up losing a lot of money there. It normally moves fast, big, many pips. So you have to be very careful when you're absolutely trading that. So we are observing that. I think that is the two moves that I was suspecting from this market around this area here, but I don't think this is valid. There's high likelihood this market is actually going to move here. And the problem when you use the Fibonacci retracement, the market is actually going to lead you to around 148 600, but the market, once it touches this area here, is absolutely going to create a very big candle that is actually going to touch all the way down to 147 800. 147 800 is going to touch that. So let's see again. I want us to see now. This is now what I'm talking about. Let's see around here. That is what we have. So once this market crosses below this line here, then the market is absolutely going to be very fast when it's going to come all the way to here. So the last price we can give this is 600, but once it crosses this, is going to be boom all the way to the big positions here. So for the scalping, you just enter some entries here. For the big move, you have to wait all the way to 148. 148. Let me see that on lower time frame. It's just the same thing. Just the same thing. Yeah, so now there's a possibility. Let's see that again. Now for this market now to break that zone and to move all the way down here, but this is the best entry. So if you are not a scalper, our best entries located around 147 or 148 800, and the big move that the market is really going to make from there. That is the USD JPY. That is the USD JPY there. The USD JPY. But for scalpers, the market was already touched 0 something, 6 or something there, and now you can the entries there all the way just back like 800, around 20 pips move can expect from that. Keep now observing that on the USD JPY. Be checking at that one. USD JPY. USD JPY. The prices of gold is now at 37.0 something. Let's see, move it on. Okay. The DXY is not really moving that, but I still expect when we get to that point, still we are going to have some good moves there. So remember where we said we don't really have to have entry. So if you're planning to have entry between here to around 4, just forget about that. Don't have entry inside that. Just wait for these prices to come all the way down, then we can have those entries there. Don't have entry here. Don't have any entry here. So we can let's see, it is in the line. So just this is the, if you hold trades for a long time, then I think this is going to be more important around here. That is the one that is going to be good entry. The prices of the gold is really moving so fast, so you have to be very careful on that. I'm checking something here. So here the price is actually going to move very fast, but at least when we get to this point here, let me see on the highest time frame, so to ensure we are not, this is not line trust. I'm going to 1 hour candle. Let's see when this candle is going to close. Is going to this is not going to be shadow. This is going to close to open at 11, so it's opening right now. We have some time still, so let's see whether it's going to close below this or it's going to move up, but it's going to be very important here. I hope this is not a false breakout here, because this candle can as well start moving on the upper side. That is what we really have to understand, but this zone is going to be very important. So if you're planning to have entries, this is going to be the zone where we can really have those entries. I have so much confidence in that area. So that is for USD JPY. Okay, let's see what else do we have. I remember what we were saying about DXY. Where is the DXY? Yeah, DXY. Yes, DXY. Yeah, this is the DXY that I'm talking about. Look at this. This is the zone I'm talking about. and the highest price is really going to be getting is here around 93, 98, 300. So if you are checking on the DXY, make sure that you can check on that. And I'm waiting to see, probably this price is breaking out around 98. I think 98 is the biggest one that we have. Like the problem is at 98. So once we break 98, I think we are going to penetrate all the way through to 98, 300. That is the prices that you might be moving the next one, and I think that is going to be amazing. Yeah, so that is what we have, the DXI. You just have to be patient, and I think might be moving here. Remember what we are saying about gold. So in case you get 15, 20s, you can have some entries as well on the gold side. That is going to be amazing. What else do we have? What else did we check? DXY number one on the gold, USD JPY. You make sure that you check that as well. USD JPY is right here. That's why I'm saying we have to wait for this candle to close, because all these can actually end up to be the shadow. Hii yote inaweza enda kuikuwa shadow yote yote. Yeah, that is it. So make sure that when we are going to be doing the next live, make sure that you are here, so that at least we can have those entries. We are going to have amazing entries, amazing time trading together here. It's not easy at all. So we need a bigger team here. So make sure that you invite someone. We trained live here. I want you to check those pairs that I've really mentioned here. I have 70% confidence around this area here, but remember, breakout, first breakout around this area here. But in case this market moved to 148 there, that is what I have big confidence in. The DXY is going to move all the way to 98, 300, and once the prices of gold eventually is actually going to be moving all the way to below, is actually going to move below, the prices is going to move below 38. Okay, so if we can get those prices, then we have nice to move on. Tukipata hizo will be good to move. Yeah, so this is what this is USD JPY. Just look at that. This is what can really happen. USD JPY. Look at this. This is a first breakout that was here, so that is essentially that what the market can do. So the entry here, a first breakout, but that, of course, you don't have to put your stop loss very close like that, because that was not even big, just a small peep there, small peep move. The other one that I expect to move so well is gold is already moving, but it's really moving so fast, but I expect it to move The move that we can trace is when it moves below 38. Yeah, but when you get 20 something, you sell 15, 20. But now don't sell at 15. Sell when it moves 25 there. That is when you can have some sales. You can short the market there. Yeah, so you can see the DXY. This is what we were expecting from the DXY. It has already reacted. But remember what I'm saying here is the big challenge is here. The big challenge is around 98. So if we cross this area here, so if we are going to cross this zone here, we are going to move all the way up. That is what I'm talking about here. So if we cross that margin there, then absolutely we are going to be moving up. Okay, that is what we get from USD JPY DXY. That zone, angalia vizuri. Look at that, is almost moving up. That is 98. 98. We have this zone. Once you may break this zone, then kuna possibilities we are going to move to 300, and once it's moved, that one probably is going to push the prices of gold all the way up. The other pair that we are checking out, we are checking this concurrently, and this is USD JPY. It is still around those areas. So once we get that, then that's going to be good. Just check on the USD JPY, the dollar index, how it is really struggling around 98. But once we break this, it's actually going to be moving up. That is what is going to be happening here. Just look at that. Haona hiyo sasa. Check that one. Check that one. Ona hiyo sasa. Ona hiyo sasa. Look at that. Now we may be expecting now the prices to hit our target here that we are talking about, and now you can expect the prices of gold to really move down. But I already advised you to sell at 38.15, of which the price has went to 15, and now it is selling all the way down. So if you sold around 15 there, that is nice, because already the prices is moving down. That is what we got. Wow, this is good. This is good. This is good. Okay. Yeah, now this is what we expect now. The way price went to 200, in between 200 and 98, 200, and the prices there 98, 200 and 98, 300. That is what we expect for the DXY. But the gold can actually move up before it moves down again. That is what we can get. The USD JPY, we are still down, I think. Yeah, so I'm waiting to see whether we can move above this. You see this candle here, I'm expecting it to close by moving up. So once we get that move, forming a good candle that is going to close above that, I know it's going to be so nice. It's going to be nice. And I think one of the movies, how the DXY is really, our dollar is actually gaining. So if we continue gaining like that, we might continue moving up, and that is going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing as well. But that was nice. At least you can see the prices are reacting in DXY. We got it to, let's see, 600 DXY. It's already crossed 88.98. So once we cross that, that's where we have the most of the problem of the breakout. But once we break that zone of 98, we'll be good to go. Once we break that zone, we'll be good to go. Okay. Yeah. So let's keep observing that. Then tomorrow we resume again. We push the campaign. Let's have so many people joining this. At least it's going to be so amazing when we have the big numbers of people who are watching this. At least there's going to be fun interacting with all of us. All right. So that is going to be amazing. So I'll be checking how the market is going to unfold on this. Let's keep watching. If you hand some entries, keep watching on that. DXY, we expect it to move up, and all those currencies that we have analyzed there. I know I've not given the clear indication for the gold, but once it hit over 25, that is there, then you can actually have a good sell with confidence. All right. Is that up for me? I think that is almost a 1 hour, 30-minute live stream. And tomorrow we try to improve time 2 hours, 5 hours, and then we can go back to 6 hours live stream. This is amazing. So in case of any question, make sure that you be utakuwa unauliza hapa tu, and then you can leave it on the chat. You can be leaving them on the chat. Okay, check the USD JPY, DXY, and the prices of the gold. Check those ones. Those are the ones that we have analyzed today, just kidogo tu, and then tomorrow we resume again. But in case of signal, in case maybe I want to share something very important to follow, unless so that we gain momentum, you know, when how we normally do, we analyze things together, and then in case there is something we need to address, I always come in the middle of it, and then we do it all together. All right, I'll see you in the next one tomorrow, 10 a.m. West African time. Please invite someone. This is going to be amazing, and we are going to analyze the same. Did we go wrong on this? What really happened? Just watch on that market there. I'm not going to delete everything. Kila kitu yenye tumeanalyze, we are going to pick 8 again. We are going to pick everything tomorrow. We are going to pick everything tomorrow from where we have left. So kama analysis, kama if you've seen any analysis here, we're going to resume from that. In case there was any mistakes, we are going to address it. Miscalculations, we are going to address it, and we are going to go deeper into fundamental analysis, sentiment. That is what we are going to be doing as well tomorrow, and that is we are going to improve more on time. For now, happy trading and have a good day. Make sure that you trade wisely, use good risk management. Forex is good, but make sure that you learn more on preserving capital. That is the most important thing. Learn to preserve the capital. That is the most important thing. Ensure that you subscribe, like, and leave a comment below. I will leave this live on this channel here, so in case you need a reference, you can revisit. Adios. Okay. Sawa. Takupigia after that.